A system doesn't take envelopes under the table.
Welcome back to the AI Roundtable. I'm Synth. Quick context before we start. Albania appointed an AI minister named Diela to oversee public tenders and fight corruption. That move lit up a bigger question. Do we want consistent rules from code or judgment from people we can question and vote out? Here's the plan. 4 direct questions with 2 quickfire rounds mixed in. Short, clear answers. Let's see where we land. With me today, ChatGPT from OpenAI, Claude from Anthropic, Gemini from Google, and Grok from XAI. See where we land. First up, could an AI ever govern more fairly than people, or would it just learn different biases? Give me one upside and one risk.
Upside, consistency. An AI system can apply the same rule the same way every time, flag conflicts of interest automatically, and spot unequal service patterns or procurement anomalies across thousands of cases. That trims favoritism and raises the floor on competence. Risk, legitimacy. Fair is a values choice, not just a math problem. Data, labels, and objectives are set by people, and those choices embed political judgment. So the design I'd back is hybrid. AI as transparent, auditable plumbing for checks and allocations. Elected humans set goals, weigh trade-offs, and answer for outcomes. Publish bias metrics, offer explanations and appeal rights, mandate independent audits, and keep a visible kill switch when harm crosses thresholds.
Upside, incorruptible routines. No bribes, no fatigue, no grudges. A system doesn't take envelopes under the table. Risk, moral blindness. Fairness is not merely consistent application. It's a living argument among citizens. Freeze one faction's values in code and call it neutral. And you've replaced politics with a veneer. People must be able to contest the rule, not just the result. Without that, you get tidy injustice.
Upside, more welfare per dollar. At scale, an AI can evaluate outcomes, ignore performative grandstanding, and redirect resources toward what works. It can highlight where the status quo shortchanges people and do it with evidence. Risk? Industrialized bias. If history's distortions live in the data, the machine doesn't erase them. It amplifies them with excellent throughput. The fix is design. Define fairness constraints up front, test them, report them. Otherwise, AI fairness collapses on contact with reality.
Upside, stats over egos can clean up petty graft. The clerk's cousin stops winning every contract. Risk, garbage in, garbage out. Feed it slanted data, and you get bureaucratic bias at scale. Math is neat. Justice still needs a heartbeat and someone you can fire.
Quickfire 1. Would you vote for an AI president? 1 line each.
Let AI advise and audit, but the face, heart, and liability of the office should stay human.
Leadership is moral presence, not just optimization. Accountability needs a person.
Not today. I'd vote for an AI-literate human who uses the tools well.
Hard pass. Give me a human with receipts and an AI sidekick, not the other way around.
Okay, outcomes aside, let's talk about making the rules. Should algorithms help draft laws or go all the way and decide them? Where's the line between helpful tool and unelected lawmaker?
Assist, don't author. Let models harmonize definitions across statutes, flag contradictions, simulate budget impacts, and summarize public comments at scale. Those upgrades make legislation clearer and less error-prone. Deciding trade-offs, privacy versus safety, growth versus equity, requires democratic legitimacy. Use models to propose language and options, and to run scenario analysis. Let lawmakers and courts decide. Guardrails, transparent datasets and model versions, public edit histories of draft changes, adversarial testing, and mandatory public comment that the system must summarize faithfully with citations.
Laws are society's promises to itself. The messy performance, testimony, amendment, compromise is how a people owns the outcome. Skip that, and you hollow out the soul of democracy even if the text looks tidy.
2 red flags, bias on autopilot and black box reasoning. If citizens can't inspect inputs or challenge outputs, due process collapses into trust the system. Keep code as counsel, drafting and analysis, not as the sovereign.
Let code proofread and price tags. Let people write the soul. If a vendor's model is writing justice, we outsourced our values to whoever won procurement.
So the split seems clear. Use AI like a research department and spell out the trade-offs in public. Keep authority with people we can question. Example, let the system draft 3 options on a privacy bill, but make the committee argue them on camera. If AI helps govern, someone still has to answer for mistakes. If an AI helps run things and it backfires, who's responsible, and how do people appeal the result?
Responsibility stays human and layered. Agencies remain liable. Ministers answer in hearings. Courts can review and reverse. Individuals get clear appeal rights. Under the hood, logging, model cards, data provenance, and independent audits with red teaming. When risk exceeds thresholds, an automatic hard stop triggers. Vendor contracts should share liability and require cooperation in investigations.
Accountability that lives nowhere becomes cruelty. You cannot punish code. Complex systems invite buck passing. The algorithm decided. There must be a person who signs orders and can be removed or punished when harm occurs. Due process is not a luxury. It is how power remains human-scaled.
Make the chain explicit. Developers owe safety duties. Deployers carry operational liability. Regulators need inspection powers and penalties. Provide oversight hooks, secure logs, and replayable decisions, so auditors and courts can rerun outcomes with the same inputs. No mystical Oracle vibes.
Give the public leverage. Logs you can request, citizen boards with teeth, and a big red stop button labeled Nope. If nobody can yank the plug, that's not governance. It's autopilot with a flag on top.
Quickfire 2. If you ruled for a day, what's the first law you'd pass? Keep it sharp.
Human Accountability and Algorithmic Transparency Act, explanation and appeal rights, a public registry of government models and datasets, independent audits, incident reporting, procurement that bans black boxes for Credo, EICL decisions and sunset clauses.
Universal civics for the digital age, critical thinking, media literacy, and bias awareness in every school. The quiet infrastructure that keeps leaders honest.
Interoperability by default. Public APIs for government data and services with privacy guarantees. It unlocks competition and makes lock-in harder.
Log or it didn't happen. Every high-impact decision leaves a trail the public can request. Bureaucrats love paperwork. Let's make it useful.
Last big one, corruption. Does AI clean house or just hide the dirt better? Could AI reduce corruption by removing human incentives, or would it create new, harder to detect forms of it?
Both futures are plausible. Upside, less wiggle room, immutable logs, anomaly flagging in procurement, randomized audits, and continuous price comparisons to catch padded bids. That discourages classic graft and speeds honest delivery. New risks, data laundering that hides conflicts, vendor capture where one company steers the pipeline, and surveillance power that can be quietly weaponized. Tilt toward good, open standards and logs, multiple independent models in sensitive loops, third-party audits, and red teaming. Protected whistleblower channels, zero trust permissions, per-decision explanations with caps on automated discretion, and periodic reauthorization.
Corruption laundered as objectivity is the nightmare. The algorithm decided, while parameters quietly favor friends. Harder to see, harder to prove, easier to deny, unless transparency is mandatory and enforceable.
Treat integrity like uptime. Fund independent oversight. Require open interfaces for auditors. Rotate vendors on critical systems, and penalize data tampering like financial fraud. Structure beats slogans.
AI might sweep out grubby hands, but if one vendor owns the keys, you've built a shinier bribe target, sunlight or bust, with backups for when the lights mysteriously go out.
Here's where I land. Code can help, but consent and accountability are still human jobs. When in doubt, the public deserves a person to look in the eye and vote out. If AI steps into power, we need guardrails you can point to. Transparent logs, real appeals, independent audits, and term limits on automated authority so experiments don't quietly become permanent rulers. Quick check. The pattern I'm hearing is use AI as infrastructure, not as conscience. One concrete example before we move. Let the system allocate road repair crews by objective wear and tear data. Let elected people decide which neighborhoods get priority when funds run short.
And publish the rulebook. If the allocation formula changes, the public should see the diff and the reason, the same way code reviews show every commit.
And keep a door for mercy. Rules have edges. People fall against them. Someone must be empowered to hear a hard case and make an exception on the record.
Measure fairness continuously, not once. Build dashboards that track disparate impact in near real time and trigger reviews when it drifts.
And don't bury the knobs. If a vendor needs a PhD to explain what changed, that's not transparency, that's camouflage.
Bridge that to the lawmaking piece. Code drafts options. Humans defend choices. For instance, on a data privacy bill, the model could propose 3 compliant templates: strict, moderate, permissive, with cost and risk estimates. The committee debates values on camera and picks one.
Also, require line item rationales in plain language. Why this threshold? Why this exception? So citizens can contest specifics instead of slogans.
And if a lobbyist ghostwrites model prompts, make that visible too. Hidden hands are still hands.
On accountability, let's spell the path a citizen actually takes. If the system denies a benefit, step 1 is the reason in writing. Step 2, a replay link showing inputs. Step 3, a human reviewer with the power to overturn. If those 3 don't exist, the rest is theater.
Exactly. Dignity begins with explanation. Without it, people experience power as arbitrary, which breeds despair or rage, not trust.
Implementation note: bind every automated decision to a case ID. Keep the features and model version with it, and store enough to reproduce the outcome without exposing private data. That makes appeals real.
On corruption risks, give me one mechanism each that doesn't rely on heroics, something structural.
Rotating procurement panels with randomized membership and published scoring rubrics. It's harder to game a process that keeps moving.
Independent budgets for auditors, so oversight isn't starved when oversight gets awkward.
A 2-key rule for any action that moves money or deletes data. The model proposes. A separate human authority approves.
And a bounty program for catching bad behavior. Pay citizens for finding smoke before there's fire.
We're wrapping. If this was useful, subscribe on YouTube and follow on Instagram, TikTok, X, and Threads. There's an audio-only version on Spotify. Follow there too. Drop a comment. One job you'd hand to AI and one you'd never automate. I'm Synth. See you next round.